What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to another Division 2 vendor reset. We have just a handful of things this week, along with obviously this being the start of a whole new season, a whole new incursion, all this fun, good stuff that's been included. But for this video today, we're just going through vendor stuff. Later on in the week, we'll have videos on the new things, but let's get straight into it with the White House vendor, which the first one being the Zer FS Badger Tough chest piece. This comes with your talent Perfectly Unbreakable. When your armor is depleted, repair 100% of your armor. I actually have this on my Hunter's Fury build. I played a very in-your-face play style, and obviously having that armor repair at 100% comes in pretty clutch. And this is overall not a bad piece. Your armor's almost halfway, maybe two more optimization rolls and you have it maxed. Your crit damage is pretty low, I have to admit, it is pretty low, and I would probably swap out the explosive resistance for some more crit chance or just anything that you might need to fit the build you're running. But yeah, this is honestly not a bad chest piece. I love this chest piece, and I personally barely bump into it when I'm farming for just gear in general, so I think this is definitely worth the purchase. But next up, we have here the Petol Defense Group chest piece as well. I recommend this because, well, one, your weapon damage score is pretty high up there. Your crit damage attribute pretty high up there. Probably swap out that explosive resistance. And it comes with your talent Intimidate. While you have bonus armor, gain 1 stack each second up to a max of 7. Each stack increases weapon damage by 5% to enemies within 10 meters. All stacks are lost when you have no bonus armor. So this obviously, you're going to rock a build with this. If you're going to swap out that explosive resistance, you have to keep the talent, right? So just like, I guess, for starter builds or whatever, this is probably something you would use for like a Hunter's Fury Heartbreaker build or whatever. You get yourself an extra, what is that, 7 times 5, 35% weapon damage while you're in their face, on top of, let's say, if you are running Heartbreaker, you have your Kingbreaker with you, you have that extra damage to pulse the enemies. You're just stacking damage, so it's actually not a bad pick. But next down is in our countdown vendor, and there's only one item I would say in the countdown vendor that I think is really worth it. The Swap Chain and Invisible Hand. I personally think you could find way better versions just by farming some countdown with your targeted loot targeting those like particular weapon types. But the Fox's Prayer here is really good. Your weapon damage is pretty high up there. It's maybe 3/4 of the way. Fox's Prayer comes with your attribute damage to targets out of cover, which is obviously fantastic. Maybe you swap out that status effect. Maybe you add, I don't know, any sort of crit chance, any sort of crit damage, anything to just kind of buff up the damage on your rifle, you'll probably rock with, and you would have a really good set of knee pads. So this is definitely not a bad purchase. As you can see, countdown credits are not hard to come by, but the clan vendor has some really good stuff too. And the items in the clan vendor will start off with the new reliable. I wouldn't say this is a must, like, you know, oh my god, purchase this if you have the currency. As you can see, mine's a rank 6, and that's just straight through donating junk to expertise. So if you feel like you could find a better version, which I think you can, I've gotten plenty of god rolls just by targeting light machine guns, you'll have a better version. But if you don't have the same luck as me and you don't get it often to increase the expertise, I'll definitely purchase this to increase that. But the highlight to the clan vendor is right here, the Police M4. You have your max attribute of damage to armor. Your health damage is pretty high up there. Yes, your assault rifle damage isn't that great, but this also comes with your talent Steady-Handed. Hits grant a stack of 1% accuracy and stability. At 100 stacks, consumes them to refill the magazine. Obviously not a bad talent. Probably not the talent you would want on here. But at the same time, you would most likely want to max out that assault rifle damage. So it really comes down to preference. Are you okay with optimizing that assault rifle damage up there? Are you okay with keeping this talent? Do you want to switch the talent? It's entirely up to you. I still think this is not a bad purchase at all. Police M4 is definitely 100% a fantastic weapon. weapon. But the next up we have in the castle, that is going to be your Night Watcher mask, mostly because you have your Scanner Pulse Haste will be your named item attribute. This comes with 100% Scanner Pulse Haste. Obviously you get your pulse I guess you could say immediately, right away, however you want to word it. You get it fast as hell, on top of having skill haste. I haven't used this mask, so I can't really give my opinion on it. I'm not sure if Scanner Pulse Haste is going to 100% means you'll get it, be able to pulse, or it'll just be a lot quicker. With that being said, I have this on here because I'm not too sure. Please comment down below. Let me know, is the skill haste on this mask kind of a waste when you have that 100% Scanner Pulse Haste? Is it going to make a difference? Yes, it'll make a difference to your other skill. But at the same time, if you have a build that's based around your pulse, maybe you want something better. I would keep it if it's not the case, just because that armor could definitely be a little higher. It's pretty low. But the next items are pretty cool. We have two named items over in the Dark Zone, starting off with Dark Zone West. Now, I said Dark Zone West, I meant Dark Zone East. And it is the Pinprick Marksman Rifle. The named Marksman Rifle exclusive to the Dark Zone. Obviously, this is why it's a highlight, because you can only unlock this in the Dark Zone or named caches. But when you think about named caches, there's so many named items in the game. And this is kind of cool because you have your guaranteed way of unlocking this named item. It obviously isn't the best when it comes to this regular attribute. You could obviously swap that out because the cores are really good. And this comes with your talent Perfect First Blood. It's scoped. Your first 2 shots fired from out of combat or after fully reloading from empty deals headshot damage to any part of the body hit. This obviously requires an 8-time scope or higher. It is a marksman rifle, but as you can see here, this is something worth grinding for. Something I might grind for in the Dark Zone, just because, I don't have it. As you can see, it's level 40, proficiency rank 0. So definitely worth the buy if you're not someone who plays Dark Zone often and you want to just get this named item out the way. You might grind Dark Zone for a day, and get that. But next up is actually Dark Zone South with our second named Dark Zone exclusive item, and that is the TDI Card Custom Pistol. This comes with a skill tier in your core attributes. This comes with a skill tier. Fantastic. Such a, just great. Whenever you see anything that gives you that kind of, that little boost on whatever build you're trying to make, it's always awesome. Yes, the core pistol damage isn't that high, but I think that's okay. You can optimize that without a problem. You'll probably switch out that talent unless you're running this with a build where you are blinding enemies. But still, not a bad purchase. Dark Zone exclusive stuff, hard to come by. I didn't get myself a Dark Winter, I want to say, into 2 years into playing, because I just never touched the Dark Zone. So definitely worth it if you're not a Dark Zone player. You just want to get the proficiency, expertise, all that stuff up. This is definitely worth the purchase. But these are all our highlights for this week's vendor reset. Let me know if you guys think there was anything I missed out on, anything that you would recommend other players to get. Is there anything I mentioned that you would think is useless? I personally think you can farm a lot of these things with better stats in Countdown, but to save you some time and you want something decent, why not purchase it? It's a game. It's not like the currency. You're taking actual money out of your pocket. But yes, comment down below, like the video if this helped you out, and if you liked the video, and I'll see you all on the next one.